Yo, how y'all doing, man? I'm Gabriel Cannon, man. Welcome back. I know it's been a while. I know it's been a minute. Y'all been quarantining and then y'all been in the streets throwing bricks. Welcome back. This is the show where the sidewalk ends. I'm your host, Gabriel Cannon, man. Since we've been here, man, we have a lot of interesting stuff that happens, man. I'm just thinking back, like we started this show early 2020, man, and we had a devastating left blow, like Kobe Bryant, and then we got together, and then COVID-19, and then y'all start throwing bricks at my grandmama building, man. This show is called Where the Sidewalk Ends. Again, I'm your host, Gabriel Cannon, man. We got an amazing guest today, man, a comedian, man, somebody who been out there putting in that work, man, and we got some questions for this brother, man. How did the COVID or how did the riots affect the work? And so we're gonna get into that. We got brother Rivest Dunlap in the building, comedian extraordinaire, and then we're gonna get into some stuff, man. That's some real stuff going on, man. I know. Like, man, it just feel like we being attacked out here. Like, not just us as black people, just us as the human race, man. Like, everything is on the table, man. I lost friends this week, literally. like drew the ultimatum in the sand. I was just trying to, say some comments on Facebook. Hey, brother, like, it's probably not like this. It's probably, and just trying to get somebody a whole nother view of things. That brother deleted me, exposed my laundry, all kinds of stuff, man. But the world is going crazy. I know in Revelations in the Bible, it say they're going to start choosing sides. I hope we ain't there yet. But if we are, y'all better be ready. I told y'all at the beginning, this is where the sidewalk ends, man. So that's what we're going to do. Like I said, after this, I got my special guest, and then we're going to get into, these topics, these riots, man. Like, what y'all think, man? Should we go out in the streets? Is it really making a difference? Is it making us look worse? Is it animals in the street? Or is it like, those people fed up? I've seen people of every race, color, and creed on both sides of this thing. Like, I've seen black people calling black people monkeys. Like, it's been going down. Like, and we've seen the ugly head of what we've known existed in this country, the oppression, the racism. Like, let's not front. Like, man, everything is on the front line, man, and there's people on the front line. We got cops that's kneeling, and there's cops kneeling still on people's neck. Like, it hasn't stopped. Like, though these people out there protesting for peace and all that, there's still cops displaying that, man, ain't no change coming and we could care less. The president, I was honestly, man, rocking with Donald Trump. I was rocking with him, but I don't understand if they loot, they shoot, and they your people. I want you, let's introduce the guest, because we're going to get into that, man. There's a lot going on, man. And like I said, it's taking, where's your mental stability at? Where you at in your head? I'm asking y'all. Put it in the comments. Where you at? How you feel? You tired? You fed up? You want to go back to work? I'm glad I ain't been to work. And where you at? That's kind of a question I'm asking. Put it in the comment. And here we're going to introduce our guest, Brother Rivest Dunlap. Y'all make some noise at home. We can hear you a little bit. For Brother Rivest Dunlap, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. How are you, man?
You good.
I'm good. The name is Rivest Dunlap, just so you guys know out there.
Sorry.
Hey, you're not the first. Don't even trip. You're not the first. You're not the first.
Rivest.
Although you are the first black man to ever get my name wrong.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Come on, man. All that's going on in the world.
I'm just messing, brother.
So Rivest Dunlap.
Rivest Dunlap, correct.
Dunlap. What Rivest mean? Where you get that name from?
My parents were on drugs, so that's how that came about.
Are you serious?
I swear to God.
I didn't know whether to laugh or just like.
No, that's so. My dad's name is Rivers Dunlap, and this whole time I thought I was like a junior. Yeah. And he's like, no, your name is Rivest. I was like, oh man, that's disappointing, But growing up, my dad was, I'm an '80s baby, so he was doing crack and stuff like that. So Rivest, I was like, all right, it works, I guess. I'm not Tyrone or some shit like that. So
cousin ain't Tyrone. Tyrone, if you watching, I love you.
Sorry, Tyrone.
It's all good. So let's start there. Because we here in Hollywood. Where you from? Like, I kind of want to get, because we're gonna get into. This brother got an amazing story, and I'm waiting to hear it too. I heard pieces of it. There's a lot been going on. during this COVID-19, during this lockdown, during this, something's going on in the world, and you got a real personal story that, you know, he said we can exclusively share. This brother's a comedian, like he be out there getting it, and he's gonna come share kind of some personal things that's been going on with him. You know, so if you could just let us know how you came into the comedy world and how you get to where we at now.
So the way I started in comedy was, you know, I was the class clown. You know, teacher's like, you're going to be a comedian. I didn't even know what a comedian was. And in 7th grade, I got in trouble a lot because the word nigger was thrown around very, very easily. So my mom, I'm just letting you guys know, don't ever tell your kids to do this. But my mom told me, whoever called you that, you fuck them up, right? So I got into a lot of fights. Therefore, me and my principal became really close. And 8th grade year comes, and she was like, you're going to be a comedian when you grow up. I'm like, all right, whatever that means. And then I go to my first stand-up show. It was Carlos Mencia. And I was amazed. Like, I didn't necessarily understand what he was saying because he's like in a political kind of comic. But I just remember the laughter and the energy. So I go back to school that Monday. And I go to my principal. I was like, hey, I went to my first comedy show. And she's like, who'd you see? I was like, oh, Carlos Mencia. And she was like, how'd you do that? I was like, well, he's my uncle. And she looks at me and she goes, but you're black, right? I was like, no, well, I'm half Mexican. This is when I was telling people I was Mexican, and I didn't know that I was half Honduran. But so my uncle essentially got me, like, not necessarily got me into it, but that was the first time I've ever seen live comedy. And then
Carlos Mencia.
That's my mom's little brother. That's my mom's little brother.
That's crazy.
And that's when I like started gearing myself to comedy, but I didn't start until I was like 24. So it's been 10 years since I've been doing stand-up.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope. So let's get into this exclusive story. Like I prepped, and like we've all been experiencing. You know, the last shows we were saying how, you know, this crisis and these things is kind of taking people's mentality. They're either breaking or they're strengthening themselves. Like, you either gonna go get in the gym or you gonna go eat a whole bunch. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's this crossroad almost. So can you kind of share with us what you've been going through lately?
Ooh, that's an arc of a story. But so at the beginning of all this, I was really depressed. This was back in November. And then my buddy had given me some mushrooms, and I took them. And for the first time in 33 years, I actually loved myself. Like, I did not love myself at all. That's the breakup, but I'll get into that later. And
so the mushrooms made you love yourself.
Mushrooms made me the universe found me, bro. Put it that way. The universe found me, and for the first time ever, I loved myself, like genuinely loved myself. And then I go back to work. I'm full of life. I'm like, all right, let's get this. And then I get a call from my brother. Dad's in the hospital. I'm like, all right, cool. I get it. That Friday, my dad dies. So all that goodness is just fucking gone. I still love myself. That's what I did keep. But like all the energy and like all the goals, they were just gone. And so, and this was during the holidays. So that was even more, you know, it was just a mess.
This was this past.
Yeah. Dang. This 19.
Sorry to hear.
And it happens, bro. Yeah. You know, if it wasn't for these events, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. But
wait, I don't mean to stop you.
Go ahead.
You just said that crazy story right there, and it just happened, and you just looked at me, looked like you strong.
Yeah, man.
You said it happened, bro.
It did. And the thing that made me strong, like, so.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. Come on with it.
So the thing that made me strong was after my dad passing, thank God, like, my girlfriend did stay there. Like, we were already on rocks, but she stood there through the whole thing, and I fucking commend her for that shit, because most people would be like, hey, you know what? I get it, whatever. So January came. That's when we were like, okay, we are breaking up. But once the COVID hit, that's when, you know, I have a condition. I have COPD, which is a high level of asthma. So I was a little scared of it, right? I didn't go out. I quarantined myself for the first month. But in that first month, I was drinking. I was not in contact with her, even though I tried to get in contact with her.
Y'all was already broken up.
Yeah, we were broken up.
Can I ask why?
Yeah, of course. So the reason was myself. Like, you can't love somebody if you don't love yourself, first and foremost. That's legit. You just can't. So with that, I've also had a lot of things that I bottled up. I couldn't talk to her about certain things because I felt that she would judge me, even though like she is my girlfriend for the past 4.5 years. But it's just something that as a black man, you don't necessarily get to open up to people. You know, you're not taught that. right? Yeah. So with that, and then comedy, you know, there was girls involved. I was talking to other girls, not necessarily cheating.
You ain't cheating.
I didn't cheat. I didn't cheat.
How
but
close to the line of cheating did you get?
As for just texting. Okay, that was it. I never. But again, in some women's eyes, emotionally cheating is cheating. But let me say this. Because what the way they look,
Janet over here.
Yeah, okay, she's shaking her head, but the way they look at it is, well, you're investing time in a new woman. Ooh. Yes, which is very true, but also I'm investing that time no matter what, even if I fuck her. So what is it really? You understand what I'm saying?
No, I mean I just got lost. No, you didn't. Go ahead, say.
Okay, let me say that again.
Yeah, okay. I be having kids watch the show, so beat the F word out.
Okay, so women get upset. Women find cheating, like emotionally cheating, worse than having sex with them. So, because you're investing the time into this person.
Your heart is with her.
Exactly. Yeah. But it doesn't. You're still investing the time no matter what. Because if you're investing the time to talk to her and then you end up having sex, it's almost the same thing. There's no in between.
The time, it's about where your heart dwells.
But my heart was never there. I was talking to women because I felt insecure. That's why.
So you saying it was nothing she could do. It was something that had to be done.
Within me.
That's a lot of
So that led to that, and there was the comedy wasn't good. There was girls at the comedy show. I'd get drunk and go home late and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then the COVID hit, and I was depressed. I was drinking my life away. I wanted to kill myself at one point. And with that, I drank a bottle of Jameson. And I was like, all right, I'm done. I want to end this shit. My dad died. My girlfriend's gone. The fucking world's going crazy. Like, I just want to leave. Yeah. So I got a knife, put it to my throat, looked in the mirror, and the inner me was like, nigga, what are you doing? He's like, you're not white. Put it down. Oh my God. Go eat some toast, smoke a joint, and we're going to get mushrooms tomorrow and figure this shit out. This is exactly what happened. I did exactly that. I got mushrooms the next day, and I popped them and literally stood in the mirror for 2 hours, like figuring out what's going on. After that experience, I checked myself into therapy. I started working out, started meditating, started reading, and ever since then, like, my life has been beautiful. I am organically happy, and by that I mean I don't need a byproduct. I don't need to go out and drink to feel happy, or I don't need to be around people. I wake up feeling and wanting to be. Mm-hmm. So that was that.
I mean, you said a lot.
I did,
man.
Break it down, baby.
So just touching on, because I know a lot of people deal with, and that's one thing I thank God I haven't dealt with close, as a parent, bro.
Yeah.
To be at the point of suicide, to where, I mean, you are a comedian, so I'm sure there's a picture of your future that you've painted.
Of course.
You were in a relationship, so I'm sure there's a picture of a family.
Yeah. I was actually supposed to propose to her this year. That was the plan. Because I wanted, I tried the first trip, I wanted to fix everything. Like, that was my goal for 2020. But, things happen. But again, if it wasn't for these events, I wouldn't be the person that I am today, for sure.
No, absolutely. Like, I mean, everybody's test becomes a testimony. Yeah. A message become a message. I'm saying because a lot of people are probably dealing with that right now.
Of course, a lot of people.
I know that,
take mushrooms. I guarantee you.
Don't take mushrooms. Don't take no mushrooms. Listen, you take Jesus, man.
You can take Jesus too, but let me tell you, mushrooms will help with a lot of things. Depression. So real quick, I actually became a personal shaman. So I started shamaning people with mushrooms, like first timers that deal with depression, because I've been doing mushrooms for the last 20 years. Okay. So like I understand what it does. Go ahead.
Wait. You've been doing mushrooms for the last 20 years.
20 years, yeah, since I was 14.
But you said when you did mushrooms, you found God.
I felt the universe.
The universe.
Yes. All trips are different. They're never the same. Never, ever the same.
So you're asserting the experience that you had to the mushrooms?
Yeah.
Or maybe the circumstances that you were going under that kind of...
Well, that and the mushrooms, it all combined to create what I am today.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say For you, somebody who's been there. I mean, the closest I've been, remember Pac said, I once contemplated suicide and would have tried, but when I held that 9, all I could see was my mama's eyes. That's what kept him.
Yes.
And you saying, at that darkness, can you speak to anybody? I know you ain't no pastor, but anybody who might be there, who might have lost maybe a COVID, maybe a riot, maybe a helplessness, a firing from a job, because that is a place to where, I mean, like I was saying, your hopes, your dream, everything that you hope for, you were ready to throw away. Everybody that you loved on this earth, bro, like you were ready, like the people you would have never seen, the people who would have never had an explanation of, you know, the boys who shot hoops with you, or you know, like can you speak to, now that you said whatever brought you out of that, to somebody who might be in there?
I mean, essentially, I brought myself out of it. You know, it was the inner me that we all have, the person that tells us we can do it. You understand what I'm saying? So that was what got me out of my funk. And again, the people look at mushrooms and psychedelics as like a really bad thing, but it's not by far. Like it does help. And I mean, now it's on the ballot of becoming legal in Oakland. It's legalized completely, flat out. And this is just how I dealt with it. You know, people deal with it in different ways, through therapy, through drinking. Like it all depends. I can't really speak on their behalf. I can only speak on mine.
But this is what I'm trying to, because you was already doing the shrooms for 20 years.
Yeah.
So it's not like you did something different.
It's just the experience. It was everything that was going on at that particular time. That's why they say when you do psychedelics, make sure you're in a healthy spot up here. Let me ask you a
question. If you take that whole experience and take the mushroom out,
I wouldn't be this person.
Why would you say that?
Because I wouldn't. I already know, because the first time I did mushrooms, that changed my life the first time. Of just opened my eyes and seeing what the world is for what it is, you know? So.
No, absolutely. I fully get it.
And I mean, I'm not saying like go out and do mushrooms.
That's what
you
just said, man.
I mean, I kind of did. Hey, you know what? At your own risk. How about that? At your own risk, do it. If you need a shaman, hit me up. I'll take care of you. I take care of you.
For God so loved the world. Right?
He did love the world, and guess what? Those mushrooms are here for us.
I knew that's what you go. So look, let me ask you a question. Let's just get off the phone. We're just gonna get all the way. Look, so being a comedian.
Yes, sir.
Has COVID-19 affected your work?
Oh yeah, it affected everybody in the entertainment business. I mean, once it hit, I mean, I've been off stage for 3 months. And the thing, like, and I don't have anything against viral stand-up, but it's not stand-up. It's essentially a podcast. Let's just be real.
There's a such thing as viral stand-up.
They do podcasts or stand-up like you would do comedy
10 minutes right now.
Just right now, yeah. And the thing is, and it's a bunch of younger comics, and again, you need to understand the art form of what comedy is. We need that stage day in and day out, night in and night out. And we also need the people just as much as the people need us. And if you're doing it on a camera by yourself, like, you're not getting no feedback. You're ha on a computer. That's not going to help me.
Oh, you understand? Comics live for that energy.
Energy, of course. Yeah. And there's going to be a lot of comics that struggle, like a lot of professionals that struggle, the next few months, because we need it. And like I was telling you earlier, I went on stage for the first time on Saturday, and I was just deer in the headlights, bro. I forgot all my material. I'm just like, what the fuck? But I basked in it. I enjoyed it because I was remembering what it is to be booed at, what it is to be in complete silence. Oh, not in this complete, not on Saturday. But I'm just saying, like, just remembering what it is to be on stage in front of people.
Listen, you're not an entertainer unless you've been booed before.
This is true.
Listen,
no.
I don't care what you do, music. If you haven't booed, get off the stage. If you haven't experienced and come back from that, you got some things to do.
Silence is the worst. I'd rather have boos than silence. Silence is the worst.
Because you can react to boos.
Yes, exactly. Ooh, okay. Silence, you're just like, I think I need a new profession. Yeah, it's bad, bro. I was in Birmingham, Alabama when I bombed horribly. And it was my first time on tour, right? And I was doing, progressively good. This is my first time. So in my head, I'm like, all right, I'm good. And then Birmingham, Alabama comes, and it's just like, nigga, what are you doing here? I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad, bro. I was like, yeah, I should probably quit.
Nah, that's crazy.
But, you know, I'm here. I'm still doing it 10 years later.
What's something that you learned from going? Well, if these pandemics and world things didn't happen that we all kind of experienced, and I mean, you experienced something personal, like, you know, the loss of a parent, a father. Like, if these things didn't happen, do you feel you and your relationship would still be intact? Do you think your relationship suffered because of outward circumstances or internal?
If there was no pandemic and my father wouldn't have died, I would still be in the relationship. Yeah. It was my father that sucked all that energy away from me. And I didn't know how to deal with his death. And I would just kind of laugh it off, because that, you know, that was my defense mechanism, you know. And like growing up in the ghetto, that's what we use is our laughter and like clowning on each other.
That's how most people become comedians.
Yeah.
They have crazy stories.
Yeah.
They turn it into.
Yeah.
That's you.
Yeah.
I'm looking in this brother's eyes. That's him. That's you.
We had a moment.
that's dope, though.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, if my dad was still alive, our relationship, we would still be together. Guaranteed.
Is it something that you think you can fix?
You know what? Going through therapy, I understand. Look at. If we were living in a normal world and I was going through therapy, it would be a lot harder to process. But the fact that I had 3 months to actually sit down and process, the thing is, we don't have time to process. We're out, we're working, we have kids, we have like all of this doesn't give us time for ourselves. Yeah, therapy helps, but only for like those 2 days, because you understand it within that. But after that, that's why people keep going back and going back. At least this is just me looking in. And that's why
stuff you just said.
And that's why I reached such a high level, because I had the time to process. And that's why, you know,
so did you just say therapy is a temporary high?
I mean, for some, again, it all depends circumstantial. Like for me, I had 3 months of this, of understanding my wrongs from the past, growing up, what happened there, relationships, past relationships, this relationship, and understanding who I am as a person. So again, it's all about processing. And going back to your question, I don't think she has processed anything yet, because she is bombarded with work. So I don't know.
Well,
to
like
be honest.
you were saying, defense mechanism, could that also be one of hers?
Maybe
I'm gonna go work.
Maybe
so I don't even.
Yeah, maybe people throw themselves into a lot of things just to get away to deal with the problem.
I mean, if she's watching, I'm just.
I still love you. Please come back.
But okay, dope. I mean. So, I mean, other than shrooms, what have you learned about yourself from this situation, I would say? Like, what have you learned about you?
I learned that, one, I'm a very loving person. And sometimes I don't, like, before this, I knew I was loving, but I never really displayed it, because growing up, I never really had love from my parents. They loved me, but there's a difference between loving and showing what love is. And I never had that, you know, and like with my relationships, I loved her, but I couldn't really express how it is, because I never had it. So that was one thing I learned about myself.
That's deep. And I think that's a issue with a lot of, I don't even want to just say black men. I think men, to be vulnerable, because what love is such a sacrifice. I mean, like, I tell people, love is literally like, there's no way you can express love without sacrifice. If you was in a gang and it's gang, like, for me to show you love, I would have to be willing to give my life.
Yeah.
There has to be a sacrifice for me. You know what I mean? For how we realize how our parents loved. They went to work every day and they sacrificed some things for love. There's a man I heard who sacrificed his life, baby boy, for love. He laid his life down. The greatest sacrifice one can do for another is be willing to lay their life down, and that's the definition of love. That's what we see that coming into play, and to kind of almost even segue into what's going on in the streets. I mean, I'm torn. I know I'm supposed to be hosting the show, but listen, y'all, I'm torn. Like, I'm completely torn, and I'm not afraid to say it. Number one, I'm a Christian man. You feel me? And that come with a whole view of things, how I'm supposed to look at things, how I'm supposed to analyze things, how I'm supposed to love. And I'm also a black man. Been this black. You should see me in the summer. It's purple. Like, you feel me? Like,
you'll get pulled over on a bike for a tinted window. How about that?
you walk in the store and the charcoal be like, Daddy. You for that black. The oil light come on when you get out the car. That black. You feel me?
Oh my God, that was good.
Making comedians mad. You got it. But I'm a black man, and to be 100 with you, like, there's a side of me that's like, about time. Because if y'all didn't do it, I had to figure out if I was going to do it. Like, there's a side of me that's, I'm not applauding this, not at all, but it's like, at least you see, At the same time, the greater... The God that lives in me, I'm not even allowed. It can't, like, I can't dwell on hate, bro. Like, it just can't live in me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even like you said, I realized I was a good person. It just can't. Like, even back in the day, like, we would fight. Like, but it's like, hey, we good?
We good. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And I've honestly had some white folk in my life. Like, I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. Like, I had, like, we played, me and my brothers, like, we played baseball, all the sports. And, these were the parents that was taking us to the games. Like, you know what I mean? These was, after we would go in North Carolina, bro, eat. Like, I would see my friends' parents. Shout out to Miss Hearn, Miss Lanham, Dell. And I would literally see people react to them having little black kids with them.
Yeah.
And then, like, they would do things like, come on, y'all, let's go. And then I wouldn't get it. But as I grew up as a man, I realized, like, they was being racist because we were, and my friend's mom and them had to stand up for
us. Yeah.
We were too busy playing. But I remember, like, them arguing with people. Like, no, I see how you looking at it. And I'm just thinking, like, dang, my friend mom a little turned up. But she was actually defending us. And so my experience, man, there's some good people out here.
Oh, of course. Man, there's more good than evil, man. Always.
Preach
always.
On it. So,
always.
And there's some good people who just don't understand.
They're just not educated.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. That's all it is.
So, like I said, I'm torn between I know love wins. Love, I ain't like I might just go out and throw some bricks. Nah. But these emotions are real.
Of course.
They exist. How do you feel about everything that's going on?
Personally, it's the last few days have been emotionally draining for me. And it kind of took me out of my groove. Like, just seeing, like, the plethora of people getting fucking stomped on, and just, then you have white people going just to start shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, cops lighting their own cars on fire. Like, what the fuck? Like, just lighting their own cars. Yes. And just so they can start some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Bricks being placed on us.
Things of bricks just in the middle of the street. Like, how did these get here?
Voila.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, a lot of people, like, we're seeing it now because everybody has cell phones. Yeah. But this has been going on since the beginning of time. You know,
like dropping guns in hoods in Chicago.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, we are so divided in this country where white people can suit up with AKs and march to the Capitol building for haircuts, yet when it's black people, they're calling us thugs and shit like that. Let one black person show up to a rally with a gun.
Yeah.
It's a fucking rap, man. And for
bullets
what?
Everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just ridiculous. But on that note, it is beautiful to see that for the first time in global history, that everybody feels this. Like everybody, man. Not only that the U.S. is marching, but people in Brazil, like everybody's feeling what's going on right now, and it's due to people being at home, people struggling. Like we have 50 million people unemployment right now, you know, and you know, they talk about looting, but that's the perfect opportunity for poor people. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? 3 months of not doing shit, 3 months of no work, no job. And yeah, I'm going to go get me a TV. Maybe I can sell that to, guess what? Pay my damn rent. You know, and people are getting kicked out. Like it's just a mess right now, man. It's a mess.
Said, we couldn't afford nothing now. Everything free, so we loot. Please don't shoot when you see. Take it from them. So, because from years they've been taking from me. I'm going to just say, listen, man, it's no way this dude been dead for 20-some years. That his lyrics should be the most synonymous for what's going on right now. You entertainers, you musicians, y'all step y'all game up, man. I want everybody to see how sleep we were as a culture. Not even a color, a culture. Because we not ready for you. Black folks, you not ready for war. These people been training for war, bruh. Yeah. Like for war. They strapped up, not even just the military. To be 100 with y'all, it was a white guy. You know who you are, shout out to, who told me, yo, Gabe, if it go down, I got a what does it call it? A bug out house. I got food store up. If you and your family need somewhere to go, I've already got it covered. And and it's, like I said, it's white guy. The love he had for me was like, listen, you and your family, I already got all the food taken care of. Nice, y'all good for a year and 6 months. Something crazy. Like he showed me all his guns and all this. And,
well, you guys are adopting me, shit.
But no, absolutely. But my thing is, even saying that, it's like, I don't know one black man who can show me the same thing.
True. Well, because we don't have that.
For his family. Like, who can't show me, like, listen, if something happens, I'm ready to feed, protect, and not just my family, but you can bring your family too.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it becomes survival of the fittest. You know, that's...
We know this is coming.
Of course.
And so my thing is, how sleep are you going to keep focusing on Tekashi 6ix9ine and there's a war outside, man? And I hope this is a wake-up call, whether it's how we're treating our body, you actually had a with your you kind of like had a weight loss or something. What was going on with that?
You know, once I checked myself into therapy and I started, you know, just getting my mind right, I was like, you know what, I need to lose some weight. And I was like 225 pounds. Now I weigh 190. 220, bro. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. Now I weigh 190, 89 or something like that. So, but I was putting in work, man. I was on the courts like 3 hours a day religiously. Body hurt, like enter me, get up on the courts. Basketball by myself, running drills. Running drill. You're way taller, but I'll still ball you up. Okay. But
we're gonna live stream that. And who y'all put your money on? Like, got me. Come on with it. But so you said you was on the court to lose the weight?
Yeah, courts. I would actually, so all the courts where I stay at in the Inland Empire, San Bernardino County, they took all the rims down. So I was driving literally every day to North Hollywood where I used to stay. Dedication. And just ball up. And you know, I enjoyed the drive, you know, and there wasn't no traffic as well. Mm-hmm. So I'd be in Hollywood in like 30 minutes. So, you know, it was nice just to get away and, you know, just focused and get my mind right during all of this.
That's dope, man. Congratulations.
Thank you,
that, man.
And I'm getting ready for Hollywood. No.
I mean, Hollywood, he coming, man. He got a powerful story. Like, I appreciate you being transparent, man, and you know, sharing your story with us. Like I said, there's a lot of people out there, man. He touched on a lot, whether it's suicide, whether it's depression, man. Number one, you could come out of it. There's a way.
There's all kinds of ways. There's all kinds of ways.
So yeah, man, if y'all, I know it's crazy out here, man. It's crazy, but let's definitely be wise. What do you think about the rioting? Is it positive? Is it helping?
Again, it's the riots are only started because of what I don't want to say all white people, but they infiltrate these protests to deliberately start shit.
It be white boys with skateboards busting them police car windows out. You don't see that? You know, I told somebody, but on a positive note too, it's beautiful to see all those fists.
It is.
In the air.
It is.
Like
it is.
we're almost the minority of this.
Of course.
This protest.
Yeah,
like it's not really black folk. I mean, they out. We see y'all.
And it's funny, like when people talk about peaceful protesting, and they're like, well, why can't you do it like Dr. King? It's like, we do, but guess what? He still got shot.
Y'all killed him.
Yeah, he still died regardless of peaceful protesting or not. So what is it really?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I've lost a few friends over just dumbass comments. You know, people that I've known since elementary, bro. And I'm like, word like that? Oh, black people are hot-headed. I'm like, what? Really? Yeah. Like that? All right, cool. All right.
Brother, I went to Bible college with just with, I mean, I still love you, brother. If I did anything to offend you, forgive me. You see that? That's forgiving heart.
Forgiving,
right there,
exactly.
Forgive me, brother. I love you, man. You already know. But, man, we got to open our eyes, man. There's other people out here hurting, man. Like, I couldn't see, like, this is what I be looking at. I be trying to put myself in other people's shoes. Like, I couldn't see in this country that Chinese people are being beat on by the police. Yo, every time I go to the store with my Chinese homie, like they follow him. Like, bro, I would be China power. Like, I would ride with you, like, especially because I'm probably a little taller than her, so I would be her muscle. Like, I would ride because it's like, man, it ain't going down like that. Not while in, I guess, that king mentality, man. I mean, even the mentality part, not while I'm alive.
Yeah.
You know, even how Michael Jackson, if Martin Luther wasn't living, he wouldn't. And basically, it's like, yo,
I love your music references, bro. Man, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Musician, but, not while I'm living, not while I'm alive, man. I'm about to take that personal, man. I'm glad that came out of this organic dialogue, but not while you're living. What are you gonna stand for? Okay, there's people in the streets rioting. You don't want to stand for that. Are you gonna sit there and talk about it? What are you standing for, though? Okay, you don't have to agree. There's gonna be many things in this world that you ain't gonna. You're gonna have kids. You ain't gonna agree with them. You don't agree with your own family. So get off of Facebook talking about what we don't agree. What will you refuse to let happen while you alive? You know what I mean? What will we stand for then? Okay, if not the riots, then what? You feel me? If not the bricks, if not the protest, if the protest is old and my ancestors, you know, I feel, and my ancestor tried that, and you know, okay, if not, what are we standing for? We can't stand for violence. If we're being wise, the military come in here with these tanks and stuff, we gonna get it. Like, let's not be ignorant.
True, but you know what? If it does come down to that, we will win.
Why do you say
because
that?
we are more, bro.
I feel you, but when you have a climate where people do anything for money, when you look at strategic organizations like the Panthers that's been infiltrated in these beautiful structures that, man, there's always the dude who killed Nipsey. Like, that's always like, man, it's just gonna take one rat to give up the whole, you know, and 6ix9ine is everywhere, bro. You feel? True. Yeah, that's definitely strength in numbers, man. What would you say we go from here? I know that's nobody. I just messed you up. I'm not expecting that, but like, you know, where are you gonna go from here? Because, okay, let me rephrase that. You just told us you know a lot.
I did.
You told us, listen, man, I'm a survivor on many levels. You told us your dreams. You told us your struggles. Where do you go from here?
Where I go from here is to change people's outlook with my comedy. That's why I'm excited for the new stuff, because you know, now it's more personal than anything. You know, especially with what's going on now, and it's as a black entertainer, I feel it's my fucking duty to do so. And just to, you know, people are gonna be against it, people are gonna be for it, but it's just something that I feel that I need to do now. And like, again, with everything that went on, and to get me to this level, I realize why I'm here. And it's not only to make people laugh, but it's also to encourage people to think critical thinking, not just think and just like look what's on the news and like try to, you know, like, no, we have to change the narrative in this country. Absolutely. And I can change it even if it's just to a few people through comedy. So that's where I'm at now.
That's powerful. Finding purpose. I mean, it's deep and powerful what you said, because you're taking your calling. You found purpose, and through your gift, delivering it to the masses. Yes. And actually walking in purpose, man. So like we were saying earlier, man, let's find deeper purpose, deeper calling, deeper, you know, reasoning to do what we do, man. I think even like, you know, what you're saying, bro, is like you have to find what this was given to you for. Exactly. And almost even just summing your story up, it's almost like you went through hell, you went through a destruction.
I did.
To be rebuilt into something new. Right? Yeah. You know what I mean? Into not even new, a better version. A better version,
yeah. A greater version.
Yeah, of you. And I think even your comedy, like to even have those stories, like to have those, that dark, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
yeah, you know, so where can we find you at, man? Where you at?
You can find me on social media, obviously. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's at Rivest, R-I-V as in Victor, E-S-T, Dunlap, D-U-N-L-A-P. That's it.
Don't call him Rivest.
Don't call me Rivest, Trivest, whatever you want to call me. Virus. No, it's none of that. It's Rivest. And yeah, it's very simple. Or not even a simple name, but that's all my handles at Rivest Dunlap. So.
Cool, man. My name is Gabriel Cannon, man. The network is All Access Broadcasting, man. We just want to thank you guys for tuning in, for being here with us, man. I want to let y'all know next week we got something amazing, man. Next week we're going to have an actual COVID survivor on the show. Somebody who had COVID-19, survived it, and is going to be on the show next week to tell us. And before this person was mentioned and came on the show, I'm gonna tell the truth, I didn't believe COVID was real. I mean, I believed it was a virus,
of course,
like, you know, but it just was like, you know, one of the big old t-shirts that we used to wear back in the day, it was a virus inside of one of them XXX tees. That's what it was. But we're gonna go get some facts, man. I heard this person was on a respirator and all that. So yeah, next week, man, tune in, man. I thank my special guest, man.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Yes,
man. It was definitely a pleasure, man. I can't wait to see you stand up. I heard amazing things about you, man. I heard you outdid the headliner your last show. So
yeah.
He gonna say he ain't humble at all. He ain't humble at all. Hey, but yeah, we checking it out.
Get him where you fit in, baby.
I feel you. So yeah, man, check it out, man. You're gonna see my brother in these movies coming up because they open it up. You feel me? Y'all stay on lockdown, man. Keep your mental right, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. Keep God first, man. God made mushrooms, so he before the mushroom.
There you go. And mushroom second.
Cut it out. God bless y'all. Y'all have a good night. All Access Broadcasting. This is where the SideWalk ends. Peace.